Well, what happened was 6 years ago this year, Jan had a really life-changing motorcycle accident, and we had the opportunity to take advantage of a friend's inflatable hot tub during the beginning of lockdown. And we had it on the patio just over there, and Jan was in it every single night without fail.
Yeah.
And she was doing little exercises in it and doing like little lifts up and leg raises. And she told me straight away after about a week that she thought it was helping her, and her limbs were a little bit more flexible and she felt a little bit less achy. And I just thought, she's after a real hot tub here at some point. But this went on for about 6 or 7 months, all the way through last summer. And unfortunately, because the hot tub we were loaned was like second hand and past its best, the ribs started popping because they're very susceptible to temperature changes. And being south facing, it was popping ribs because as much air as I would let out, we got a hot day and the thing was solid. And before we knew it, the ribs were all popping, we were creating leaks. And it really did get past its best and it was ready for the skip, unfortunately. And it was at that point anyway that Jan had said she was adamant she wanted a real one because she was in this inflatable one for every night for 6-7 months without fail. And our heating bill had rocketed, our electric bill had rocketed on the inflatable because we were paying approximately £5 a day to cover that inflatable. And knowing the benefits she was gaining from the inflatable, knowing that a real hot tub would have benefited tenfold, and that already heard that the electric use on one of them, on a good quality one, would be a lot less reduced, we decided to look into it a bit further.
And why did we decide to go with North Spas? Well, we've got a friend who had a hot tub from them. He recommended them. So we thought we'd have a look at the website, and then we went up to the showroom to see what was what. And the staff were very friendly and knowledgeable.
Yeah. So I work with a lad who actually has an artesian spa, and he got it from North Spas quite a number of years ago. And I'd been having a conversation with him about the inflatable and about going to a real hot tub. And he sent me a link to the website. We had a look. We went up. We met Debbie. Debbie was a lovely, helpful lady. We had a look at the hot tubs. You made a beeline for the one we got at the back, albeit they didn't have the colour shell that you wanted. And then we went upstairs as well. God help me, of course. We went upstairs. The gazebo's up there and all the Trex Decking as well. So from going up there and looking at the hot tub, we come out there wanting a masterpiece. So, yeah.
The rest is history.
So we chose the Artesian Island 52 from the Antigua range. Why did we choose that? Well, the size itself was perfect because it's only you and me at home, and we don't have a load of company coming around. So we thought it was just the perfect size, being a 6-seater with a lounge, but it was more so that it come with these painted and helix jets, which was a selling point alone because of the therapeutic advantage that it's got of the deep tissue penetration. And like we've already said, because of your motorbike accident, the injuries you sustained, we thought that would help you rehabilitate a lot quicker than just a hot tub that blew bubbles out at you. So yeah, it was the size, it was the look of it itself, the layout of the seats. But I would have said more about them painted and helix jets. That was going to give us the best value.
Yeah, they were very beneficial.
Yeah. So have you noticed a difference?
Oh yeah,
using
very
them?
much so. I go in it every day and do all my exercises. Hydrotherapy benefits are fantastic. It's just wonderful.
Yeah. Sometimes I jump in with her, but she does like it a little bit hotter than me. I mean, it's amazing. This thing goes up to 40 degrees and you just feel like a boiling a bag fish. We've got it at 37, which is bearable for me, just. However, I do outstay my welcome after about 15-20 minutes, and I'm on the cool step and then I'm out, where Jan could can stay in there for hours. In fact, I've seen Jan stay in there for 4 or 5 hours, and I don't think he can stay in too long. Maybe if the jets were on with the air switches, I think you could probably stay in too long, but you can just sit in there and it's just the relaxation and the ambience of the garden and the birds tweeting or the sun going down in it, and you're just sitting there in the quietness where I've made my escape already. But recently, 3 weeks ago, I actually fell off a ladder, quite a tall ladder, and I landed heavily on my right hand side. Now, I'm still waiting for a physiotherapy appointment and an MRI scan. But I've been jumping in the hot tub on a morning, well before Jan gets up. I'm getting up about 4 or 5 o'clock and having an hour in the tub where I'm doing all my physio exercises, but underwater, which funny enough is where I can move my limb 100%. As soon as I come out of the water, I've got issues. So if I do my exercises under the water, I've got full mobility, and I'm hoping that long term is going to help alongside the physio I'm having to rehabilitate me a little bit quicker and get me back to work. So plus win-win. As the final result, lived up to our expectations. Well, in a nutshell, yes. And exceeded expectations, well and truly. I mean, we initially went in for a hot tub, and we have now been left with an outdoor space that we can use all year. And I mean all year. We've got the gazebo, which keeps us dry. There's nothing worse than getting drizzled on or rained on in a hot tub, as we found out with the inflatable one we had. But to actually get in and sit in there when you've got a thunderstorm or it's raining is really, really nice, isn't it? To know you're in there all cosy and you're watching the rain splatter down. But yeah, I mean, we've changed, the project changed as we went along. Initially, we were having an L-shaped Trex, but I wasn't happy with that, so I discussed it with Davey, and we extended it to just one big rectangle. The thing with Davey and North Spars is they're not there to try and sell you what they think will look best. They'll listen to the customer, and if they've got any advice or experience to offer you on what you're wanting, then they'll give it. But ultimately, it's still up to the customer to make the decision, which is what I like about it. So we extended it, and the adjustments were made as we went along. It wasn't cast in stone, and North Spars were very flexible. To that end, we didn't originally go for this glass balustrade that you see around here. But when we were in the hot tub, we felt that the wind was coming down the side of the house, like a bit of a wind tunnel, and it was quite cold on the face. But again, I discussed that with Davey. He told us about how the glass would maybe lock in some of the sunlight and keep the Trex area warm. It would act as a windbreak and keep the wind off us. And do you know what, true to his word, I'm so glad we got it done, because it really has made it a lot warmer, a lot less, well, certainly a lot less windy. We still get a bit of breeze. We're outdoors at the end of the day. But added to that, we've got some patio heaters. We've got some lovely patio heaters here. So the wind doesn't just take the heat away and blow it into the garden. It's kind of captured in this area, so it keeps it warm. We were maybe going in when the sun went down, but now I've seen us sat out here till 11:30 at night, entertaining. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah. The glass balustrade, originally I wanted some sort of vents, but like you say, North Spars made some suggestions of what they do. They didn't force anything on us, and then we went for it.
Because they did, they suggested planters, some Trex planters, and we're not the best at looking after plants, indoor
no, we're terrible
or outdoor.
gardeners.
So it was either going to be a bunch of artificial flowers with the risk of having to clean them out, and pigeons and birds and spiders and all that, which neither of us like spiders, or it was something clean, clinical, practical, that looked good. And I think that ticked all the boxes. This brushed steel, stainless steel glass balustrade, that was one of Davy's suggestions. But on the back of that, he did offer us other alternatives like the planters and all that. So he gave us a number of options. He let us make the ultimate decision. It was a more expensive option, and it was us who made it based on the advice that North Spars give us. So can't complain. In fact, I can only give North Spas praise for everything from viewing the hot tub in the beginning to the job commencing, to job completion, to after sales service. I mean, after sales service, we had a few snags like you would with everything. That were only identified 1 or 2 weeks as things started to settle. But an appointment was made. The guys come round and fixed it to our satisfaction straight away, no questions asked. So you're not paying for a hot tub with North Spas. I think you're paying for
The service.
the experience, the service, and probably a lifelong relationship with them as long as you've got that hot tub.
Yeah, I would say so.
So what would you say to anybody who was looking for a hot tub and to transform the garden into something like we've got?
Well, you can shop around and everything online, but going for the actual experience and wet testing, I would say go to North Spas, either at Dobbies or Kingston Park or something, because you get all the friendliness of the staff and the knowledge of the staff, and they will tell you everything. But like I said, the wet testing, unfortunately we didn't have the chance to do that, but you can do wet testing and see how you feel in them. Fantastic.
Yeah, the reason we couldn't do the wet test was just because of the COVID restrictions, but that is an option normally. I don't think it would have made a difference to the hot tub we got or not getting a hot tub. We'd set our minds on getting a hot tub, but I think it's when we walked through the show home at Kingston Park and seen quite a vast array of different models, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, they went from what I would consider small up to huge, some of these hot tubs, and I think there's something there for everybody of all budgets. So I think that's the benefit of having a showroom. But if you want a hot tub, go to anybody online, yeah. But there's no guarantee you're going to get the customer service, the after sales service, the friendliness, the advice, the experience of somebody like North Spas. I'm so glad we went with them. Yeah, I'm so glad we never made a mistake that so many people do, and then end up needing to go to North Spas after somebody's either got it wrong or not done a proper job. You know, you can save yourself all that hassle and go to the leaders in this kind of thing, and just go to North Spas and get it right first time, because they seem to do that first time every time.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the evidence speaks for itself, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
we love it. If we're not sleeping, we're out here. In fact, we've been known to sleep out here as well. So yeah, benefit from it. I mean,
And enjoy it.
yeah, while you can. Life's too short, so we decided to just take the plunge and go for this and make it an area that we can use all year round, either by ourselves or entertaining friends and family. And thanks again, North Spas.
North Spas, from base to bubbles.